winds up to 40 miles an hour for the match between the Rams and the Giants. And good afternoon. I'd like to be able to say that. I'm Pat Summerall with John Madden, but it isn't a good afternoon. 40-mile-an-hour winds, John, that's got to affect the football game.
It'll affect the game. As we see the flags here in that wind, there's no way when they're going against the wind that they can have any pass offense at all. So the team that has the wind has to make something happen when they have it, because when they get against it, Pat, they won't be able to throw the ball today.
You saw those standings, the wild card possibilities a little bit earlier. The Giants do have a chance, a mathematical chance of being in the playoffs, and a winning season, I think, perhaps means a little bit more to them. I don't want to minimize what the Rams are trying to accomplish, but I think it means more to the Giants.
I think it would mean a lot more to the Giants, because if they could have a break-even or a winning season, then that'd be a big thing for them. It'd be something that they could hang their hat on, improvement. You know, we were a lot better this year and really look forward to next year. Now, the Rams, they have to be down, because they're always thinking playoffs, they're thinking Super Bowl contention. This year, they're really out of it. So I would say that the motivation today has to be on the side of the New York Giants.
John, you look right now at Pat Hayden, who will start at quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams. Cold, windy. As I mentioned, winds of up to 40 miles an hour. The Rams will kick off. Frank Corral. And he'll have that substantial wind at his back. Danny Pittman standing in the middle back for the Giants, number 82. And Corral has the ball blow off the tee, and that's going to be happening a lot this afternoon.
They'll probably end up having someone hold the ball for him, like they do on an extra point or a field goal.
A very unique situation has arisen in that the Rams, John, won the toss and chose to kick off.
So that means in the second half now, the Giants will have the choice, and they can either receive again or kick off themselves.
Corral does have someone hold. The ball soars way deep into the end zone. The Giants wisely do not bring it out. Mike Dennis stays back in there. The Giants will take over. First down at their own 20. Here are the Giant offensive backs and receivers. Brunner, the quarterback, Ike Forte and Rob Carpenter, the runners. Mike Freedy and Johnny Perkins, the wide receivers. But going in this direction, it'll be tough to put anything in the air. Gary Shirk, the tight end. Westenard, Clack Turner, and Gordon King, the offensive front. We'll check the Ram defense in just a minute. They play with 4 down linemen. First and 10 at the 20. Way ahead is Rob Carpenter, a couple. You look at that Ram defense and the great names that they have had and still have in that unit. Jack Youngblood, Mike Fanning, Reggie Dawson, Cody Jones up front. And you wonder why their record is not better than it is. Those are the linebackers. And the secondary, Leroy Irvin, starting in place of Pat Thomas, Perry, Johnson, and Cromwell. A lot of talent there. Second down, 8. Everybody went the wrong way, including the ball carrier, Jim Youngblood. Takes down Scott Brunner. Tough day to play football.
It is a tough day, and I'll tell you, the other thing is the team that is going against the wind like the Giants are, they can't afford to have a mistake, because, you know, like that type of thing, or an interception or fumbles or anything, because it would be a big plus to have the wind plus good field position.
Ivory Sully and Lucius Smith come into the Ram defensive alignment. It's going to be awfully hard to throw anything in this direction. Scott Brunner. Johnny Perkins in motion. Brunner drops. Throws and overthrows. Intended, I believe, for either Perkins or Carpenter. But no chance. Too hard. And the Giants' Dave Jennings will have to punt.
Now, this is going to be fun to watch, Pat, is this punt. I was watching him in the pregame warm-up, and they were only punting the ball about 25 or 30 yards. He's not going to have that average on this punt, that 44.1.
He'll have to wait until they change into the field to work on his average. Leroy Irvin, a very dangerous punt returner, standing back at his own 45-yard line. Jennings waiting for the snap. It is a good one. Line drive kick should be returned. Irvin handles cleanly. Leroy Irvin gets back into Giant territory to the 46 before Frank Marion makes the hit. It'll be first down Rams in good field position, and maybe that decision to kick off will pay off early dividends. Here's the Ram offensive unit. Hayden, the quarterback. Mike Gooman starting at fullback in place of Cullen Bryant. Wendell Tyler, Denard, and Billy Waddy, the wide receivers. The offensive line sort of remade. You can see some strange names in there. And we'll check the Giant defense in just a minute. Tyler is the deep back. Wendell Tyler, perhaps a yard hit by Gary Jeter. Here is the Giant three-man front, McGriff, Neal, and Jeter. The linebackers, Byron Hunt starting in place of Brad Van Pelt. Brian Kelly, Carson, and Lawrence Taylor. And the secondary, and they're playing well too, Haynes, Jackson, Courier, and Beasley Reese. Denard and Waddy both wide to the left. That's Gooman swinging in motion. Hayden brings back to Wendell Tyler. Tyler with some room. First down Rams inside the 35 to about the 34. Beasley Reese stripped him up.
That was one of those deals where the defense overreacted. We'll see it again here, and you watch the Giant defense. Now watch them. They all go out here to the left. You see them to the left. Now watch back here. See Jeter overplayed the thing. Tyler started to the right, and boom, had big room back to the outside.
First down Rams. Giant 32-yard line is the line of scrimmage. 2 men in motion. Can't do that.
Penalty, Jimmy.
There's Tyler again tripped up. Penalty markers all over the place as the Rams had 2 in motion and Tyler's down. Wendell Tyler took a pretty good hit on a play that's going to be called back, I think, and he's still down. Harry Carson made the contact that caused Tyler to stay down.
We were talking about the Rams and they're not having the year that they expected. And one of the strengths of the Rams has always been that offensive line. And Rich Saul, the center, is the only player that has started every game because Dennis Hara is not playing today, did not start. That's Bill Bain at right guard.
Illegal motion. 2 men moving. Refused. Holding. Number 61. Accepted. First down.
Rich Saul, the man that John Madden was just talking about, is the violator. Today's officials, Fred Silva, is the referee, and the rest of his crew we'll get to in just a minute. Tyler is out of the game. Jewel Thomas is in. Tyler appeared to be okay when he came out. And Hayden starts Gooman in motion again. Hayden will throw if he has time. He gets it outside to Jewel Thomas. Penalty marker down, and Hayden is still down back. Hayden was hit, I believe, by Gary Jeter after he left the ball game. That's where the flag went down.
That's right, and that's what it's going to be. It's going to be roughing the passer. That'll be a 15-yard penalty against the Giants, and of course that gives them that'll get them in position. It'll give them a first down and give them the field position again.
John, I don't know how you feel about it. I think I do, but cold weather, rain, all the other adverse elements, I could tolerate as a player.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer.
But wind was the worst thing, I thought.
I think wind is the only thing that you can't control in a football game. You know, cold weather, you can get warm. Even wet weather, you can still play a good football game if you can keep the footballs dry. But wind, you just can't play going in one direction.
Wendell Tyler back in the contest for the Rams. This time it's Gooman over the right side, spinning down to about the 16. Bill Courier made the stop.
You know, talking about the cold, when we went to the Ram practice yesterday, to a person, they were all talking about the weather. You know, I don't know that you ever get used to this, but I know if you're from Los Angeles, you sure aren't used to it.
The only person that I can think of who might be used to it is Bud Grant.
But he's not from Los Angeles.
Not in a long time. Second down. They need 4 from the 16. Gooman in motion. This is Tyler. Wendell Tyler hurdles down for a first down to about the 9-yard line, perhaps the 10. Beasley Reese made the stop. That's a pretty good idea. You get that as you look at Ray Perkins of what kind of day it is.
Watch this again. It's just a little cutback. You see, this is one thing that they can do on artificial turf. They can start that move, and they can make those little quick moves when they see an opening or a soft spot in the defense.
Good block by Saul to set up that gain, and first down for the Rams. It'll be first and goal, I believe. This is Tyler again. Wendell Tyler bangs down inside the 5 to about the 4 before once again Beasley Reese has to make the tackle. Don't forget he's a safety man.
That's right. That's always an indicator of how your run defense is doing, the number of tackles that a safety has to make. You like most of those tackles, of course, to be made by the line or linebacker.
On the tackle. Ball on the 4.
Phil Tabor's come into the Giant defense. Brian Kelly goes out. So they'll go with a 5-man front now. In this goal line situation, second down and goal. They cannot make the first down. They have to score. This is Mike Gooman. And Gooman gets to about the 2 before he's knocked down. Beasley Reese again on the bottom of that pile. Well, John, the Rams have scored 27 touchdowns all year long, and Wendell Tyler has scored 14 of those, over half.
I know. Wendell Tyler is the leading scorer in the NFC, and with this third down play, I would bet that the ball will go to Wendell Tyler. They just brought in 3 tight ends, so they're in a goal line run offense.
Walt Arnold, Phil McKinley, and Lewis Gilbert all in the game at the same time. It's third down from the 2, and this is Tyler. That will be his 15th touchdown of the year as Wendell Tyler makes it look easy. Rams break on top very quickly. First time they get the ball, they drive for a touchdown. Corral will try for the extra point. Nolan Cromwell is his holder.
Watch this. They ran to the strong side. You see Bill Bain, 62 pull here. He got just a little bump that he needed on Harry Carson, just enough to let Wendell Tyler get into the end zone.
That's a block by Gooman.
Watch here. We see Bain come out. He just turns out there. Now Gooman, right, the fullback, 44, did a good job of kicking out on the outside to give Tyler the lane.
Nolan Cromwell holding. Corral, the only man in the NFL who does both the punting and the place kicking, makes it Los Angeles leading the Giants 7-0. 9:31 left to play in the first quarter, and the Rams move out on top. At the Meadowlands Giant Stadium, the event you might have just joined us, 40-mile-an-hour winds are the order of the afternoon. You look at the deep man for the Giants, Danny Pittman, standing at his goal line, and you can see from that things are pretty well stretched out. That was the Rams scoring drive. They lead 7-0. Tyler the touchdown, his 15th of the year. Took him 8 plays. Here's Corral and Dickett in the direction of Mike Dennis. Danny Pittman takes it instead. Pittman looking for someplace to go, cuts upfield outside the 20 to the 27. George Andrews made the stop. Rams will go on defense, and the Giants operating against that fierce wind with Scott Brunner at quarterback. Next Saturday, the NCAA on CBS. Wake Forest against Marquette, USC against Long Beach State. 1:30 Eastern. And the rest of next Saturday, the NFL today has the Minnesota Vikings against Detroit. A game that could be very, very significant. First down, Giants.
Those guys can handle that cold weather.
Brady was in motion. Brunner's handoff is to Rob Carpenter. And he got about 3 right straight up the middle before he stripped up by Mike Fanning.
You know, it's interesting watching a Giant bench here, Pat, and how Coach Perkins, they're watching the time now. That's 9:06 in the first quarter because they want to get this quarter over so they can get the ball going with the wind and get this part of it over and hold Los Angeles down.
Winds like this, all the preliminary preparation and game plans can go right out the window because the conditions dictate what you can do. 2 tight ends. Here's Brunner. Outside Carpenter over his head. Carpenter wasn't sure. He thought it might have been a lateral, but it was a forward pass.
You know, you're right. It looks like the feeling on both of these teams here is just a feeling of survival, trying to survive. Now, he was looking for his tight end. You see, he had Shirk there. He wasn't open, and he had to turn and come off to Rob Carpenter, and he just threw it a little high. Saw
Carpenter chasing. He thought it could possibly have been a lateral. It wasn't. Double forward pass, 3rd and 6, and here's their efficiency. That's not quite effective enough. That's Perkins going back in motion. Bruner, the quarterback. Youngblood leaps offside. Bruner staying in the pocket, finally throws outside and throws it away in the direction of Carpenter.
Oh, that was a bad one. That's one of the time it looks like the Giant pass receivers stopped running, because that's one time you get a free play. When the defense jumps offside like that and the whistle doesn't blow, you get a free play. Even if you throw an interception, it comes back again. But it looks like someone saw him offsides and everyone stopped running their pass pattern.
Defense, number 85. Offside. 3rd down.
Even with the penalty, it's still not enough for a first down, as Jack Youngblood, the veteran from Florida, is the man who jumped offside.
Big thing about that penalty, though, it takes the Giants out of a passing situation and puts them into a possible run situation to pick up a first down.
Ike Forte and Rob Carpenter behind Scott Bruner. They operate with 3 tight ends. Pardon, it's Leon Perry. Not Forte. Carpenter, with his second effort, got the first down. He didn't have it in the beginning. Now he does. George Andrews made the tackle. First down, Giants.
Carpenter lost his left sock. Look at that. They got everything. They didn't get him, but they got that left leg of his, because, as you say, he was stopped on that first effort, and he just kept going and made the first down.
Bob Carpenter. What an addition he's been to this Giant team. Most impressive numbers since Ron Johnson. And that's Carpenter again. Stopped by Mike Fanning.
You know, the one thing that Carpenter has done is let the Giants use this formation that they just used there with the 2 tight ends. And I think that's been a real good thing for him. The 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, only 1 back in the backfield. And when you do that, you need a runner like Rob Carpenter who can pick up something and feel holes and pick up yardage with 1 back.
It'll be 2nd and 7 at the 42. Forte is back with Carpenter now. It's Ike Forte. Breaks 1 tackle, gets to the outside, got some room. Ike Forte, a Giant, first down in red territory, knocked out of bounds at the 42 by Andrews again.
This is one thing about the Rams that have really changed. They used to be the toughest team in the league to run against. But now watch him here. Again, you see Forte starts out to the middle, missed tackle there, just bounces outside, get everyone caught up inside, and he picked up a first down. You never used to be able to do that against the Rams.
There's some different people on that defense. First down, Giants at the Ram 43, they say. Los Angeles leading 7-0. Giants trying to stay alive in that playoff picture. Here's Forte again. Perhaps a yard by Carl Eckern. Tripped him up.
You know, those 2 first downs were big first downs for the Giants because they can change or control field position here.
The Eagles staggering a little bit of late. Trail Washington 6-0, a 6-yard, beg your pardon. Washington leads 6-0. 6-yard run by Joe Washington.
The Eagles have lost 2 in a row. I wouldn't expect them to lose 3 in a row.
Redskins can move it, however, of late. 2nd down, 10 at the 43. This is Carpenter to the outside. Some room, breaks 1 tackle. Jim Youngblood took him out of bounds after about 4.
That was Leroy Irvin, who's taken the place of Pat Thomas, and he came up to tackle, and he just didn't wrap his arm, so Carpenter was able to pick up a couple more yards. You know, yesterday Ray Perkins was telling us that he wants to get in at least 3rd and 6. He never wants to be 3rd and more than 6 yards to go on first down, because he thinks if they were 3rd and 6 that they can pick up every first down in that situation. Those are strong words.
They are strong, but there's some strong winds to go along with that. I think that might change. Here's Bruner. Chased by Fanning. Pass off the hands of Ike Forte.
I'll tell you, these fans are booing now because they know what, last week the Giants dropped 8 passes in their game, and I think before that they probably lead the league. They don't keep stats on it, but they probably lead the league in drop passes.
4th down. They still need 6. It looks like they're going for it. Bruner's still in the game. And again, he's looking over to the sideline for some kind of help, and now he's going to take a timeout.
I think he was looking to see the punt team come in. With this wind, it wouldn't be a bad play to punt the ball. I don't know if you want to go on 4th down here, because if you don't make it, then you're giving the Rams 1 good field position and 2 the wind.
Bruner over talking to Ray Perkins at the moment. The indecision. There's Dave Jennings off to the left with the big red mittens on. Rams lead 7-0. John, what could be Ray Perkins' reason for going on 4th and 6 here this early?
Probably just that he wants to keep the ball and not let the Rams have it with the wind.
Bruner will throw. He does have time. The pass is incomplete. But a penalty marker goes down. Let's see what that is.
It's probably holding against the Giants, and Rams will turn it down and take the ball.
Offense, holding, number 35, refused. 1st down.
Indeed, you're right. Ike Forte was the violator. And the Rams take it over 1st and 10. We have 6:21 still left first quarter. Second time the Rams have had the ball. The Giants picked up a couple of crucial 1st downs. Bought them some time against the wind. Matt Hayden, the quarterback for Los Angeles. Tyler and Gruen, the runners. Tyler's the only runner right now. He's a dandy. Maybe 4. Curtis McGriff made the stop. Right now, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York for an update.
Pat and John, we may have an upset in the works. Ron Jaworski fumble. Redskins recover. They march in. Joe Washington gets the score from 6 yards out. They miss the extra point. That, though, could be critical. Back now to Pat and John.
The wind is the critical factor here at the Meadowlands at Giant Stadium, Brent. The Rams have it right now. At their back. Billy Waddy goes in motion. Hayden drops the throw. Lots of time in the pocket. He has Gruen for a moment. Dropped it incomplete. Bill Courier, the Giant defender.
Let's watch this in the middle here now. Bill Neal and the job that he's been doing. You see, it takes 2 to block him in there. Saul starts, has help from the guard on Kent Hill. But that's all a nose tackle. When you only have a 3-man rush, all he has to do is get about 4 yards penetration into the quarterback space, which he did on that play.
And he's done it consistently throughout this year. Here's Matt Hayden again. The numbers for him this year. 9 TDs, 12 intercepts. Giants on a blitz. Here comes Lawrence Taylor. Hayden rolls away from it. Gets away from it momentarily, and Hayden's going to run. Hayden dives inside Giant territory. That should be enough for a 1st down. They had him. They lost him.
You know who that was? That wasn't Lawrence Taylor's. We'll see it again. Now, we'll watch Lawrence Taylor come from the right. He flushes him out. Gary, see Taylor there? Now, Jeter's supposed to be right outside him, and when he got outside of Jeter there, number 70, there was no one out there. Hayden saw all green carpet, and he could get there to the 1st down marker, do a little slide out of bounds. You don't slide much on this artificial turf stuff, do you? Boom, that had her.
Grabs fast.
Yeah. Grabs hard.
That's Gruen getting down to about the Giant 45. The middle of their defense stacked him up. Anytime Hayden takes off, you sort of hold your breath after he was hurt last week.
Yeah, you sure do. Watch Neal in the middle there. You know, the big thing they want to do in the middle on that run is just not get knocked back. Don't get blown off. Just hold the middle solid so that those inside linebackers can do their work.
2nd and 6 from the 45 for Los Angeles. They lead 7-0 already. 4:55 left first quarter. Hayden to Tyler. Randall Tyler near a 1st down, about a half-yard shy before Harry Carson stacked him up.
You know, one of the big differences in Wendell Tyler this year, and he's probably one of the pluses in this Ram year, is that he looks a lot stronger this year.
San Francisco beating Cincinnati. A 4-yard pass from Joe Montana to Bill Ring. 49ers continue to be tough. New England 7, Miami nothing. Kavanaugh to Hasselbeck.
You never know, do you?
A lot of unpredictable things going on. Here is Wendell Tyler for the Ram first down. Knocked backwards just a bit, but he got enough. Lawrence Taylor hit him. That should be a first.
That's what I was saying. You know, they use Wendell Tyler now in all the running situations, not only the first down, but they also use him in the short yardage situation. There's a giant down on the field.
That's Curtis McGriff, who plays so well against the run. Interesting the things that Ray Perkins was telling us about him yesterday. Right now he's in agony.
We were talking to Ray Perkins and asking why he wasn't drafted higher and why everyone didn't know him. But he said, well, when he was in college and when he first came here, he was too lazy. He said he wasn't a good player. And then in the off season, he really went to work and he's really in great shape. Now watch him on the left part of the screen here. See right up there in the top, number 76, we see him. They start an influence block, go to the outside. Now what happens, Rich Saul, the center, went into his right leg. He was blocking Bill Neal, and Neal just rode him down, and he wasn't blocked. He was run into by Saul.
You could see that leg cave in as he got hit from the side. George Martin has taken his place as Ray Perkins looks on from the sideline. He looks like he's well equipped, but he doesn't look very warm, does he? Rams 7, the Giants nothing. McGriff is out, Martin is in. And there goes Curtis McGriff. That's not a very encouraging sight, is it?
It sure isn't. That's the most difficult thing, those knee injuries.
Here is Hayden, and that one just took off. Sometimes it can be very difficult to throw with the wind.
As you say, it took off. You know, he got it up there in the air, and just boom, it just got it, and he darn near threw it. He darn near threw it over the goalpost and got caught up there in that jet stream.
They said he couldn't throw deep.
He sure can when he has this wind with him. I think I could throw deep.
1 out of 3 for 4 yards. Rams have the football with 3:47 left first quarter. They lead 7-0. Line of scrimmage, the Giants 38. A lot of things can happen today as far as looking ahead to what happens in the playoffs. A lot of key matchups. We'll keep you up to date on those. Hayden fumbles the snap from center. He got it back.
He was talking to Rich Saul on that play about did Saul center it too soon or did he leave too soon. There's Ray Malavasi, the head coach of the Rams. He's used to this weather. You know, he lived right across the river in Clifton, New Jersey. He was brought up.
Just about 5 minutes away from here.
He's been gone for a long time.
The early word on Curtis McGriff is that he has a torn ligament. It didn't take him long to diagnose that. Here's Hayden, penalty marker down. Hayden throws over the middle. Billy Waddy. Preston Denard, I beg your pardon.
Well, it was Billy Waddy who was in motion. Now, you could come in motion before the ball snapped, but he started forward before the ball was snapped. So it'll be against the Rams, illegal motion. They'll bring that one back and do it over again 5 yards deeper.
They did not have enough yardage for a first down, about a yard shy of that. I would think, though, that if they consider field goal, Corral could get it there from here easily with the wind at his back. So they do accept the penalty. Red Silver.
Offense, number 80. Illegal motion. Third down.
Okay, now 80, Billy Waddy is coming here in motion. See, now he starts upfield before the ball snapped. Now, he can come in motion, but you can't start forward until the ball's centered.
Denard and Waddy poked them wide to the left. Drew Hill, another wide receiver. They'll split out wide to the right. Here's Martin chasing Hayden. He gets away again. And finally, Bill Neal is the first man there. And Jeter helped him out. And the Rams will have to punt.
That's what you need. George Martin beat his man. He was being blocked by Doug Smith. He beats Doug Smith. Now then, you know, Pat Hayden is great at this. This is one thing that he can do. Now, see from his right side, See Martin come here. He feels that, makes a little step in, and now Bill Neal says, you got away from him. You're not going to get away from me, Pat. And the thing that Bill Neal did is he didn't leave his feet. Stayed on his feet.
Number 3 is Frank Corral. Leon Bright back deep for the Giants. Almost got away from Corral. He does get the kick off. A funny-looking kick, but it's very effective. Goes out of bounds inside the Giant 10, about the 9, where the Giants will take over still against that vicious wind.
That's the thing. It's like that pass of Pat Hayden's on a kick. The only thing you have to do is get it off. Watch here. The wind will do the rest of the job. Boom, a little sidewinder, gets it up there in the wind, and there it goes.
The Los Angeles Rams 7, the Giants nothing at Giant Stadium. Giants had the ball. Scott Brunner, their quarterback. 1st and 10 from their own 9. Perkins in motion. And off Ike Forte, who dives out for 3 or 4 outside the 10 to about the 12 before Reggie Doss tripped him up. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Giants and the National Football League is prohibited.
The Giants went for it on 4th down, and of course they didn't make it. The Rams got the ball, and it really hasn't hurt the Giants as far as the score because the Rams didn't score, but it did hurt them in this poor field position.
In a minute 45, they'll have the wind at their back. Carpenter really, just as the hole opened at the line of scrimmage, hit by George Andrews, and he will hit.
That was one of those counters that didn't work. We'll see Carpenter here. He'll take a little step to the left. You see, he'll start out to the left to hold him. It didn't. And Rogers saw that, and he came from his right side linebacker and made the play. He didn't go for the counter fake.
Ram coaches signaling frantically just a minute ago for that Ram defense to call a timeout. They want to take advantage of that wind as much as they can. I hate to belabor that point about the wind, but it really is dictating what's going on the football field.
As you say, they would like to get the ball at least one more time before they lose this win.
You look at the Central Division of the NFC momentarily here. Here's what's happening right now. Minnesota, Detroit, and Tampa Bay all at 7-6. So is Atlanta. Atlanta is playing at Tampa today.
You know, of
a lot of things can change.
Excuse me, Pat. You know, of all these teams, I think Detroit is probably playing the best of them all at this time.
Ray Malavasi. A lot of family, a lot of friends here today.
And that's Lionel Taylor there with him. We played against him for years when he was with the Denver Broncos. In fact, he played with the Raiders for a year.
Next Sunday, a doubleheader here on CBS. NFL Today begins it all, of course. Green Bay at New Orleans, and the Giants will be at St. Louis. And the doubleheader game, and John and I'll be in Dallas for the match between the Eagles and the Cowboys.
That's one that'll be a real shootout, won't it?
It always is, or certainly has been in recent years.
That umpire, he has to stand. He has to stand there and hold the ball with his feet so it doesn't blow away.
I guarantee you that headband he's got on is not for perspiration. In flat, the Giants center. Wind still swirling around. Brunner gets it outside in the direction of Rob Carpenter. Rams had a blitz going. Jim Youngblood on the coverage of Carpenter, and this strategy at least works in that the Giants will have to punt to the Rams against this vicious wind, and so maybe taking that timeout paid off.
Well, he wanted to take the timeout, then go with his substitution defense and blitz and maybe get a sack. And now, of course, the incomplete pass, the clock stops, and it will also stop at change of possession.
And the dangerous Leroy Irvin back deep for the Rams. This is Jennings standing at his own goal line. Rams do not try to block it. Jennings gets off a line shot again. Irvin will field, backs up, gets away from one Giant tackler. Penalty marker goes down, and it'll chase the Rams backwards.
That may be an old-fashioned clip. You know, we're always seeing those blocking from the back above the waist. That one there may have been a clip. Nope, that's a new one.
By Lucius Smith, I believe. And so the Giants dig themselves out of a very serious hole with that kick and that clip.
On the run back, number 23, illegal push above the waist, first down.
From the back, Fred. See, he didn't say from the back. It's illegal push from the back. Let's see, we'll see it coming right in here in the screen, right there to the left. You see the push with the left arm. He had him, you know, that's the thing, when they can't cut him anymore and they get even with him, they tend to put their hands up there.
Now it's Gooman in motion. This is Hayden throwing and batted around, hit by George Martin. Right now for an update, let's swing you back to New York and to Brent Musburger.
Pat, the wind is not blowing nearly as severely down in Washington. The Eagles have come back out of the shotgun. Jaworski goes to Campfield, 26-yard touchdown. Franklin's extra point has the Eagles ahead by 1. Let's go back now to Pat Summerall.
And Brent, here the score is 7-0 Los Angeles with 1 minute 4 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Arnold in motion. Here's Hayden. Use that wind while you can. He throws outside to Wendell Tyler. Tyler slips one tackle, gets outside the 40 to the 41 before Brian Kelly takes him down. It'll be third down.
Right at the time that Pat Hayden threw that ball, because we just saw him get up there, he was hit by George Martin, and he really didn't see the completion. I'm surprised that the Rams, with 41 seconds, aren't hurrying up here, or in their passing, throwing it more up the field. They went for a little pass in the flat on second down, and on first down they went for a screen. If you're going to use the wind, you ought to get that ball up into the wind and see if you can get a big one.
23 seconds left in the first quarter. Now change ends. Taylor on a blitz this time. The pass is complete to Arnold. That'll be enough for a first down. Brian Kelly made the tackle. The Rams will move the sticks, however.
And that'll take the quarter up also. So now they're going to have to go against the wind. Watch this. They have good pass protection in there. See, they get Jeter going into the inside. Irv Pankey does. And then Pat Hayden has to have that little hole to step up and throw into the middle.
So that's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Los Angeles Rams 7, the Giants nothing, and they'll change in.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way. And by Lowenbrau. When it's time for the taste of a truly great beer, let it be Lowenbrau.
You're looking at Giant Stadium. Pat Summerall with John Madden. A windy, blustery day. Winds, in case you just joined us, up to 40 miles an hour. And very cold as Mike Gooman gets the carry for Los Angeles and gets about 4. Byron Hunt made the tackle. Time of possession first quarter. Rams had it most of the time. 9:04, 5:56 for the Giants.
Now the Giants want to get it back because then they'll have the ball in the wind.
They give Gooman 4, so we'll make it 2nd and 6. And head coach Ray Perkins. Played most of his career with Baltimore, of course. Coached in New England, coached at San Diego. This is Gooman again. And he is about a yard shy of a first down before Gary Jeter makes the stop. Gooman starting in place of Cullen Bryant.
That was a move that the Rams made, I guess, 2 weeks ago. They started Cullen Bryant, brought Gooman in on the second series, and he played the whole game. He started last week against the Steelers and played the whole game with the exception of one play. And the reason they did that is because he has a little more speed, and he's more of a pass receiving threat than Cullen Bryant was.
Pretty tough to measure today. You can't keep the object still.
The ball won't sit still for those right foot, left foot. You know, they have to get a little wobble job as they come in here. They start down that thing, and the left foot wobbles and the right foot wobbles, and wherever it lines up, they take it.
Gilman did get enough for a first down. Rams send their two wide receivers, Waddy and Denard, both wide to the right. They send Grumman in motion to the left. This is Wendell Tyler. Wendell gets perhaps the 40 before he's stacked up by a Giant defense led by Brian Kelly.
You know, again, the first thing, it starts there in the middle. You see, they have to hold that whole side up so they don't get anything out there. Now, see Taylor, he's going against Arnold there, plays off the tight end, just as that whole thing solid. Byron Hunt comes in from the backside. A lot of blue jerseys got there.
Call it 2nd and 8. There's Lawrence Taylor, the spectacular rookie of the Giants. Here's Wendell Tyler. Swings around one blocker. Gets just inside the 40. Hit down hard by Bill Courier and Beasley Reese. Mark Haynes also there on the tackle. He's playing well.
Now let's see what the Rams are going to do, again, going into the win with a 3rd and long situation. See if they'll get the ball up the field.
3rd down and 7. I'm sure the weather must be a little bit more pleasant in Los Angeles than it is here. Your team is cold. They lead 7-0, however. Here's Hayden. Inside handoff to Tyler, who bangs down on the inside trap. Stopped finally by Byron Hunt. He's very close to a first down.
It was a good call in that situation. I'm sure that the Giants were expecting pass. They widened out a little to get in pass rushing positions, and they just ran an inside trap to Wendell Tyler.
And Tyler comes off holding his left arm. He took a pretty good blow on that side.
And I'll tell you, and it just has to hurt all the more with this. These people just aren't used to it. You know, it's just tough to take. That cold in itself hurts.
Hayden comes strolling off as the Rams have taken a timeout. And Tyler is in pain over on the sideline. I'll never forget in the Super Bowl against Pittsburgh when Tyler kept coming out injured and you thought he'd never be back. In the next series of offense, he would be back. Right now, the Rams lead at 7-0, and we're in the first quarter. We have 12:27 left to play in the first half with the Rams leading 7-0. It seems to be Wendell Tyler's left hand that was injured. The Rams go for it. Jewel Thomas and Gumman, the two runners. Thomas. He is tripped up shy of the first down by Mark Haynes. Good play.
I'll tell you who really made that play, though, Pat, was Bill Courier. He was a strong safety, and he got penetration. He got up into the backfield. Let's see if we can see it here. Now watch number 29. We'll see Bill Courier come up. Now, we see the handoff. Now watch here. 62 is going to block him. See it right there. Now he got that penetration so that Haynes could come in and catch Thomas before he got the first down.
Good defense by the Giants. First down for the Giants at their own 34. Brunner with the wind at his back fires. Intended for Ernest Gray. A penalty marker is down. It could be and should be and probably will be holding.
I'm sure it was and is and will be holding, which will bring a 10-yard penalty and still first down.
Red Silva. His 15th year as an NFL official.
Number 73, holding. First down.
Jeff Weston.
Let's see if we can see the holding. It's a left tackle there. It's right there in the upper left-hand part of the screen, the right-hand part of the screen, right there where he had his hands in, and then he got his right hand to the outside.
Cody Jones got to the inside, and Weston had to grab on. Here's Brunner. Intended for Ike Forte, and if you ever wanted a good example of a man looking upfield before he had it caught, there's one right there. You could see him take his eyes off of it.
And at some point here, Ray Perkins really has to be upset with these drops. It's just something that happens, and maybe it's contagious because it's not only one person. It's the wide receivers, the tight ends, the running backs. They just all drop the ball on this football team.
Upset indeed. He took Ike Forte out and goes with one lone running back. Rob Carpenter, two tight ends. Brunner drops. Dave Young manages to hang on, and ironically, in training camp and earlier this year, he was the one who was dropping all the passes. Now he gets Bruner's first completion of the day.
That's right. And Ray Perkins said that he wanted to play Dave Young more and more. He moved him up from the third tight end to the second tight end over Tom Mulledy, and he plays in a two tight end situation.
Young is a rookie from Purdue, 6'6", and 240, and can run.
And that's big enough to play.
It'll be third down 10 at the 35. Three wide receivers. Rams showing blitz. Show a good rush. Perkins, Bruner had it there. Hard pass to catch, however. Nolan Cromwell was with him, as was Leroy Irvin.
That was a tough one here because it's double coverage. We'll see in the inside here, we see number 47. Irvin is with him, and watch Cromwell come in. He was really double teamed, and that was just one of those things that didn't work. The Rams are very tough to throw against in third and long yardage, and that's why they're number one in pass defense in the NFC.
Leroy Irvin, very dangerous. 3 touchdowns already on punt returns this year. Dave Jennings standing back at his own 20-yard line. First snap. Jennings gets it away. It's not very artistic. Irvin does handle it. All he can do is handle it. The Giants down very quickly. Ed McGlasson, the man who did the snapping, the first man down. And the Rams will take over at their own about 19-yard line, first and 10. Here's an athlete.
He didn't have the most artistic catch, but he did a great, kick, but he did a great job of fielding the ball here. See what he has to do is get down in front of it so that it doesn't get down, and he had to pull that ball off the ground. That is an athlete.
Dave Jennings. Line of scrimmage is the Ram 25, first and 10. Tyler and Gooman, the two runners. Denard in motion. This is Gooman. Back to the line of scrimmage, nothing more. George Martin and Byron Hunt swarm just as he gets back to that far. Detroit, of whom John Madden said a moment ago, of all the wild card people, playing very well right now. They lead Green Bay 10-0. St. Louis not out of the picture at all. 14-3 over New Orleans second quarter. And Philadelphia has gone ahead Washington 7-6.
Well, what Brent Musburger said on that update is so true. The Redskins missed that extra point, and it always comes back to haunt them. There you go, Brent.
It'll be second and 9. Here's Tyler. He had some room early, but it all shut down as Bill Neal led the Giant defense. You can't forget about Atlanta, John.
Well, I think of all the wild card teams that Atlanta is probably the best team. I think in that Central Division, I think Detroit's the best. So that's the way to get two of them. See that Detroit could win the Central Division and Atlanta could be the second wild card.
It'll be third down Rams. Third and 4 at their own 31. They lead 7-0. Wendell Tyler's touchdown has been the only thing that's happened so far. Hayden has to run out of the pocket as Taylor was on a blitz. He throws outside, and Preston Denard is popped by Beasley Reeves, but he had enough and does have the first down, Los Angeles.
I tell you, Pat Hayden can make some big plays, because he can scramble a little. See, he didn't have anything. Now watch Denard here. We see Jackson. It's a zone. He starts up. He gets off Denard. Hayden bought a little time, and Denard was all out there, all by himself, until Beasley Reese showed up.
He paid the price for that completion, but Denard popped right back up. First down Rams. They're only 43. Leading 7-0. Hand off Gooman. Not much doing there. He got perhaps to the 45 for a pickup of 2 before Brian Kelly knocked him down.
That's probably the toughest play to run, is just a straight dive to your fullback against a 3-man line, because all 4 of those linebackers can pursue and get to that ball. That Byron Hunt there, that 57, is a good-looking athlete.
Taking the place of Brad Van Pelt, the All-Pro of recent years. But Byron Hunt can play.
Yeah, he said when he first came to camp, they called him Brian, and then he started playing pretty well, and they found out his name was really Byron.
Penalty marker down as Tyler swings off to his left side. Terry Jackson, the cornerback, came up to make the stop. 9:02 left to play in the first half at Giant Stadium.
That was one that the Giants didn't want because they were really playing the run well and strong here, and now they're going to give 5 yards. They probably lined up offside.
Defense, number 70, encroachment. Still second down.
John, the Rams, you look at Wendell Tyler's thumb and the problems he had administered to a minute ago. Rams are one of the teams who wear unusually tight jerseys and also take their shoulder pads down underneath.
All the offensive linemen have their jerseys tailored to their bodies, and then they put tape on their shoulder pad and tape the jerseys to them.
Wendell Tyler hit behind the line of scrimmage and tripped up by Lawrence Taylor. The reason they do that, of course, is to keep the defensive linemen from being able to grab onto and hold on to something.
And the way they have those jerseys, there's no way that you can grab anything. There's just nothing to grab there on those Ram offensive linemen.
Third down, about 5 at the 48. Tyler and Glennon behind Pat Hayden. Quick count. Hayden rolls. Nothing doing. Preston Denard was the intended receiver. Harry Carson made the move on Hayden. It made him dump it early. And Frank Corral will have to punt against this awesome wind now. Leon Bright goes back deep for the Giants. Leon, number 45, spent some time in Canada. From Florida State. Corral having a very consistent, very good year. Only man in the NFL who punts and plays kicks. In this case, it's a shank.
I don't know what he was trying to do there. You know, the idea is when you kick with the wind is to get it up in the air. When you kick against it, you try and kick a line drive, but he wanted it in the middle and not outside.
Pat Summerall with John Madden at Giant Stadium in a brutal day in the Meadowlands. Rams leading 7-0. 40-mile-an-hour winds they're talking about throughout this afternoon. Ram touchdown by Wendell Tyler. His 15th of the year has given them the lead. This is Leon Bright being chased by Fanning, Youngblood, and chased finally out of bounds by Jim Youngblood.
They're talking about tough people, tough players, tough situations. These fans that are sitting here in this stadium today have to be the toughest people alive.
This is certainly one of the best football stadiums in this country. But even the best can be a little bit adverse today. It's cold and bitter.
I don't know how they can handle that. Did you see that one guy? He had an Oakland Raider cap on.
He knew you were coming here.
Thank you.
On second down, it's Carpenter. Hit quickly by Reggie Doss, but he struggles for 3 or 4 yards. And that'll bring up a third down situation for the Giants. Now you've got to put that thing up.
Well, you know, remember Ray Perkins was telling us yesterday that he wanted to be 3rd and 6 or less. So he said, don't be surprised if you see us running on 2nd and 10, 2nd and 9, 2nd and 8 to get to 3rd and 6, because then we can get a first down.
He's got 3rd and 6 now, and this is a situation where he said he felt they should be able to convert every time.
Every one.
Nobody offside. Bruder steps up in the pocket, throws for Carpenter. He's got it. Rob Carpenter all the way to the Ram 30. Jim Youngblood was back there with him, and I suppose, John, that's the situation he was talking about, that matchup.
That's the one that he was trying to get. He knew that if it was 3rd and 10, he was going to have one type of thing, but at 3rd and 6, he was going to get this where he could sneak Rob Carpenter through the line and right up the middle as he got here. We see the man-to-man thing, and Rob Carpenter got a couple steps, and that was all he needed.
37-yard pickup. Pass completion from Bruner to Carpenter. 1st and 10 Giants at the Ram 30. 6:45 left to play in the first half. Rams up 7-0. Here's Bruner to throw again. Ernest Gray wide open, and Gray is popped incomplete. Nolan Cromwell Knocked the ball loose. It's called incomplete. Gary Shirk is over to argue. Ooh, what a shot Ernest Gray took from Cromwell.
Well, what Gary Shirk is saying that he was hit before the ball got there. Let's watch it. It's a zone. Rod Perry gives Ernest Gray a bump. Now he's going. Cromwell's coming over from the outside. If he hits him before the ball gets there, it's not. Oh! Now the hit, the timing was legal, but he hit him with his left hand in the face, which is illegal. Maybe that's what Shirk was complaining about.
One of the two, the hit, as you said, John, was timed well. A hit like that can never be timed well.
Yeah, but the one thing they can't do is they can't hit him in the head.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 at the 30. Scott Bruner, the quarterback. Phil Simms out for the year. Chased by Fanning is Bruner, and down in the arms of Johnny Johnson, the safety man. How did Fanning get loose so quickly, so deeply?
It looked like a blitz, and I'll bet you that someone picked up the blitz and didn't pick up Fanning. Fanning's right here on the left. Nope, he just beat J.T. Turner. He went right by Turner on a pass rush move. Johnny Johnson was coming up in coverage, and then he came up and got Bruner.
Fanning has been double-teamed almost every week. That time he wasn't. It was such a shock.
He just gave that old head slap with that right hand. That's illegal, too, you know.
Carpenter the lone set back, Perkins in motion. 3rd and 12, Bruner straight back. Backpedaling, chased by Doss. Incomplete. Knocks down the sideline marker. Hit that right between the 1 and the 0. Nobody there.
You know, with the wind here, Joe Dinello can make the field goal from here.
Oh, sure.
Let's watch it here. Now, see, Bruner's looking. There's just no one open, and by the time he gets ready to throw, Reggie Doss was on his left shoulder.
Here is Dinello, who's had a very hot year as well. And indeed, he can get it there. This one will be from, what, about 50 yards out? Maybe a little shy of 50. Bruner is the holder, trying to keep his hands warm. Wide left. Plenty of distance. A lot of smoke, but not much direction. So the Giants come away empty. The Rams will have a first down. And the Rams lead the Giants at the middle and 7-0. Moments ago, here's Ernest Gray.
You know, we were worrying about the pass interference or not, but it looks like here Ernest Gray had possession of that ball. See, now watch here. He catches the ball. Watch right there. Cromwell hits him. You see, now he goes down, and that ball is still there, and the ground can't cause a fumble. He did have possession, and that should have been the Giants' ball right there. Woo.
What is happening is the Rams have it. Here's Wendell Tyler. They started from the 32, a penalty marker down again. Tyler got about 3. Ooh, that's tough.
That was tough because that was a great catch by Ernest Gray, holding on to that thing until he went down.
Green Bay not out of things at all yet. Has come back 10-7. Chicago leading Minnesota 3-0. Second quarter. Philadelphia now 13-6 over the Washington Redskins.
Offense, number 56. Holding. First down.
Doug Smith will check some of the other scores from around the league in just a second. Dallas 7, Baltimore nothing. That's in Baltimore. They just started. And Miami's caught New England second quarter, 7-7. Here's Wendell Tyler again as the Rams operate. Byron Hunt made the stop. Tyler looks like he's shaken up again. This looks like shades of a couple of years ago. San Francisco now 7-3 over Cincinnati, second quarter. 16 degrees, by the way, in the match between Green Bay and Detroit. 39 degrees in Chicago for that match between Minnesota and the Bears. Rams second and 16 at their own 26. Wendell Tyler and Mike Gooman the runners. And this is Mike Gooman. And Gooman gets a couple. Byron Hunt again the tackler. I'll
tell you, with Byron Hunt coming along as a rookie on one side, And then on the other side, of course, Lawrence Taylor. The Giants do have some future there. We were talking to Ray Perkins yesterday about the draft, and he said probably they'll look for some offensive explosion. You know, a running back in the draft or a wide receiver, some speed.
Los Angeles 5 out of 8 on third down conversions. Byron Hunt, by the way, 6'4", 230 from SMU. This is Matt Gilman, nothing doing. Bill Neal, another of those young rookies for the Giants who's played very well.
I like Bill Neal. You know, that's very important in the three-man line. See if we can watch him there. Take on Rich Saul. You see, and he didn't get any movement there. The big thing, again, about the nose tackle on the run, don't go backwards. Hold your ground as long as you can and wait and let the ball come to you.
Oh, man, he's 6'4", 255. Not the ideal size, they think, for a nose tackle.
He's a little tall. Most nose tackles seem to be around 6'1", 6'2".
Corral's punt will bounce and go backwards. Gilman downs it in Ram territory. Not much you can do punting the football. You can't even drop it correctly on a day like this. And the Giants take over in good position. Well, you talk about real fans. Now, those are real fans. Another sellout, of course, at Giant Stadium.
You have to love those Giants to do that, don't you? And those people have probably been doing it for 30 years because they're sitting in the good seats.
I'd imagine that's correct. That's Ernest Gray in motion. Here's Boone with a lot of time. He has Leon Bright knocked away at the last second. Good play by George Andrews. That had to be done by instinct.
I'll tell you, George Andrews had to do that because there was no one in front of Leon Bright. Had he caught that ball, watch it here. Now George Andrews he's behind about 2 or 3 steps. He looked up over his head and tapped that thing away with his left hand. That was a great play.
Andrews comes out. That's a tough assignment. To ask a linebacker who's got to be bigger and perhaps a little bit tougher. Well, not necessarily so, to cover a halfback coming out of the backfield like that. 2nd and 10 to 47. Bruner will take advantage of the wind again if he can. Goes outside again, intended for Bright. Ivory Sully was back there with him. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Look at that wind on Bruner's shoulders there.
Detroit 10, Green Bay 7, second quarter. And the Chicago Bears leading Minnesota 3-0. You notice the Giant players have the ear holes in their helmets taped. That's not because of the cold. That's because the wind is blowing so hard. The noise distracts them. Next Sunday, the doubleheader. Packers, New Orleans, Giants, St. Louis. Perkins in motion. Bruner drops, throws. Intended for Mike Treaty. Rod Perry right there with him. Penalty markers down all over the place.
And those flags came late, Pat, and they both threw them. It looked like they had to take another thought on that one because they didn't throw them initially. That's what Rod Perry is saying there, because they didn't throw them, and now they do throw them, and it's going to be against the Rams.
Nolan Cromwell, number 21, really upset with this call. Fred Silver.
Defense, number 49. Pass interference. 1st down.
Rod Perry shaking his head. He said no, because he has position. Now watch him here. See, they hit there. That's okay. That's okay. You see the first 5 yards, he can do it. Don't hold him now, Rod. Let him go. Brady's coming into him. Good position. I don't know. Did they call that interference?
Yes, they did.
No, they're wrong. If they could have called holding, a possibility, but that was not interference. Nope, sorry.
1st and 10, Giants to Ram 40. Here's Rob Carpenter. And he's hit right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe he got a yard before Reggie Doss takes him down.
Ball carried by
Carpenter has had some problems with his hip. He was hurt in the Green Bay game and got a hip pointer. And has had to wear an extra pad almost ever since then. That's 5 weeks ago now.
Right, he took a shot from a linebacker, Rich Wingo, from the blind side. He didn't see him coming.
It'll be 2nd and 9 from the 39 for Scott Bruner and the Giants. Rob Carpenter the lone runner. Rams leading 7-0. Bruner pulled out a little early, I think.
That's on Scott Bruner there. You know, sometimes those quarterbacks call the signal in the huddle, the snap count. You know, it's going to be on 1, on 2, or on 3, and they forget what they called in the huddle when they get up to the line of scrimmage. And I've seen that happen with the greatest. They'll call it on 2 and pull out
Number 12,
on 1.
offense. Ball start.
It's
Second
on Bruner. Usually when they do that, when they get up to the line of scrimmage, they'll ask one of the guards or the center, what's the snap count? What did I call?
They usually, maybe, you know, Scott Bruner, you know, starting for his first time, I mean, not his first game this year, but being a second-year quarterback, maybe doesn't want to ask one of the guys.
So it'll be 2nd and 14 back at the 44-yard line now. Bruner drops straight back. Chased and hit by Ivory Sully on a blitz. Still a Giants ball.
You know, that was the one situation that the Giants didn't want to get into today. There's this situation where they get 2nd and long and 3rd and long because the Rams, you see the stunts, the linemen are crossing. They have 6 defensive backs in there. They're bringing safeties, and everyone. Gordon King was in good position to recover that fumble.
They did say that that was a fumble, that his arm had not started forward when Sully hit him. And Gordon King was in the right place at the right time. So it'll be 3rd down, 19 back at the 49 for the Giants.
I used to always tell my offensive linemen, don't get in position to recover fumbles.
You don't want to be doing that all the time.
Block them.
7-0. The Rams over the Giants with 2 minutes left first half. The preceding message was furnished by the National Football League. Thank you, Frank Corral. Like the wind is blowing hard enough to put the goalposts out of sync.
Crooked, yeah. The kicker, to get one through there, would have to bend his head sideways, to straighten those things out.
So it helps to be a soccer-style kicker.
Or a little tilted to one side.
3rd down, 19 from the 49, Bruner. Rams on a blitz again, but Bruner has some time for a while. Now he's taken down by Cody Jones.
That was one of those sacks that, again, will be because of the secondary coverage. The Rams are number 1 in pass defense. They really do cover well. This time they pick up the blitz pretty good, as we see here. Bruner's looking downfield. There's no one open. He has to run with the ball. Cody Jones says, nope, you're not going there.
Dave Jennings back to kick. Leroy Irvin back deep for the Rams. Jennings hangs this one high. Irvin will just let it soar over his head. Jennings gets a good bounce, and so do the Giants. They'll down it at about the 4-yard line. You don't figure a ball to bounce like that with the wind at Jennings back like that. Flowers is down to down it.
That was a good job of coverage because the first 2 guys, instead of staying in front of the ball, they encircle around behind so that the ball can't go into the end zone. Then they work back out.
Coming up at the half, a special feature on the owner of the Rams, Georgia Frontiere. And, of course, Brenton Herb will bring you scores and highlights from the other contests around the league.
Georgia's here today.
Yes. Along with another sellout crowd at Giant Stadium. A minute 16 left to play in the first half. Rams leading 7-0. Tyler and Mike Blumen operate out of the end zone. Here's Blumen, tackled at about the 1. Gary Jeter made the stop. Not only tackled him, he tore his shoe off. Timeout Giants.
Jeter got upfield that time. Now watch him here. You see, Taylor starts from the outside to force him out. Jeter is on a little stunt. He has the outside and the contain. He gets outside, up the field, and tackles Mike Gooman before he can get his shoulders turned. But I'll tell you who started that play right there, number 56, Lawrence Taylor. They ought to Beasley Reese shake his hand, too. The guy, okay, well, he didn't give him a handshake. He just gave him a little clap thing there. But he should have shook it because he was a guy that penetrated, got in there, and made the ball jump outside.
You ever seen, in your years, a better rookie linebacker than Lawrence Taylor?
No, I never have. I think he's the best rookie linebacker that I've ever seen. We've played against a lot of them.
Next Sunday, the CBS doubleheader, the NFL Today, of course, begins it all. And then it'll be Green Bay at New Orleans and the Giants at St. Louis. And then the big one in Dallas, the Philadelphia Eagles against the Cowboys. That's the doubleheader game.
The Eagles are having their hands full with the Washington Redskins.
Last score we saw was 13-6 Philadelphia. Both teams have one timeout remaining. Excuse me, John.
I wonder if they missed a field goal. Missed an extra point or kicked 2 field goals. Because the Redskins had already missed 1 extra point. Oh, the extra point was blocked, so there's 2 missed extra points.
Billy Canfield has scored both touchdowns for the Eagles. They missed the second extra point. There for Tony Franklin. Out to the 4. Stopped by Gary Jeter. Here's Mike Gooman again. Again, the Giants take a timeout, stop the clock with 1 minute and 5 seconds left to play in the first half, and that's all they have. They want to make a punt against that wind. They might be able to do it. Next Saturday, a match of significance, severe significance. The Minnesota Vikings against the Detroit Lions. Of course, assuming they both win today, the last time we looked, Detroit was and Minnesota wasn't. That could be of great bearing on who wins the NFC Central. And the NFL today, of course, will begin it all. That's next Saturday. And their feature will be a feature on the Lions' young quarterback, Eric Hipple. He's done some job. What an athlete he is, too.
He's been very impressive, and since he's been starting, the Lions have really turned things around. You know, they haven't lost yet at home, and now they've started to win on the road, so that's a pretty good combination. If you never lose at home and you can win on the road, you don't lose many.
Unless you play in Milwaukee. 1 minute and 5 seconds left to play in the first half. Rams leading 7-0. Although, ironically, the Packers have a better record in Milwaukee when they play their games there than they do at home in Green Bay. 3rd and 10.
The Rams would like to get this ball out beyond the 5-yard line to have room for their punter.
Just about made it to the 5, where it'll be 4th down. I mean, a lot of pressure in a situation like this on a lot of people. Not only Frank Corral, the punter, but also the center.
That's right. And see, usually the normal snap from the center to the punter is 15 yards. So the end zone, of course, is 10 yards. So you want to get it out beyond the 5 so that center and kicker have the normal snapping distance that they're used to.
Now the center is Doug Smith, who has been playing an offensive tackle spot today, number 56. In order for Corral to handle it, him to get it back there, a lot of concentration involved.
And Corral's not lined up 15 yards deep.
Of course, if he steps on that end line, it's safety.
Of course, they're going to take the 5-yard penalty now. They run the clock down to 20 seconds.
Delay.
And they've taken the penalty.
Offense, number 3.
They call it against Frank Corral, but
the Giants should go for this one. Go for the block here. They're not used to snapping at this distance.
Leon Bright is standing on the Ram 30-yard line. Giants have 10 men up there. Indeed, they're doing just exactly what you said, John. They're going to go for it. Corral again lets the clock run down. Gets this one off. Not a bad kick. In fact, a superb kick. Leon Bright has it go over his head. He finally feels it in his own territory. Flashes it on his feet. He's got some room. Leon Bright down to the Ram 30. Down to about the 25 before he's knocked down by the Rams. And speaking of being knocked down, one of the Rams is still down. I think it's Corral.
It looks like it is Frank Corral, but that was a great kick. Kicking into the wind, you want to keep it low. You want a line drive, and he got it over the return man's head. Looks like he got blocked there. You know, at one time, he was the only one out there. Let's watch it again. See, we'll see now. He's going to get up. He's going to get out here to the outside. Get up here. Now watch here. He picked up a couple blocks there. Right there. Right in front. Right there in front. It was hard to see. We saw Corral go down at one time.
Below the waist. First down.
Danny Pittman was the man who put the block on Corral. And again, he is still down. And don't forget that he does both the place kicking and the punting for the Rams. So that could be a very serious loss. You think about what a good kick that was, John. That's Corral. He was standing in his own end zone against a 40-mile-an-hour wind, and he kicked from his own end zone into Giant territory, all the way back to their 45.
And he did it with a line drive kick. You know, it wasn't one of those things that he got up. It just went, boom, just right over the line's head. And that was real power. That was a power kick.
A very tight spiral, and that's the only way it would have worked against that wind.
And it looks like he's hurting or holding his right shoulder. Well, the Rams do have a backup punter now. Dan Pastorini is their backup quarterback, and who was a punter with the Houston Oilers. And the Giants are going to take one shot at it here.
From 60 yards out is Joe Danilo. That could get there. Just underneath. Almost made it. Joe Danilo from 60 away.
That's just now, he knew that he had that strong wind. We'll watch Joe Danilo and watch his reaction here. He gets it up. It takes a little while to get 60 yards, though.
I don't think we have to say it was no good. And the Rams still lead it 7-0.